Hey y'all, so let's just get right into it. I bought 4 packs of hair. I bought 2 packs of gray hair and 2 packs of like my regular hair color, which I typically go for 1B, but sometimes I think about getting one or two because I think one is more natural than the other. But the gray color is M44 and then the black color is 1B, and I'm using the brand Rua because I got my hair and I'm using the heat protectant from Fantasia because I do have to like go in and blow dry my hair before I do the braids, and I definitely just gave myself somewhat of a big chop, and it was a very random big chop. As I was braiding my hair, I kind of realized that it's pretty uneven, but what's new? This ain't my first rodeo when it comes to protective styling and just growing out my hair again. It was very, very long. Stay tuned for my natural hair journey video because, I'm basically starting from square one, but I've done it before and I know that I can do it again. So, anyways, I'm combing out my hair. I applied some heat protectant because I'm gonna go in with my blow dryer and like the comb attachment. And I'm just making sure that it's not too wet. I'm applying a little bit more because I'm really trying to avoid any kind of heat damage whatsoever. And I've been really good about not using heat. But for this hairstyle specifically, I know that I need to have it blow dried just to have it stretched out and stuff. So yeah, I just started going through my hair with this blow dryer. I love the comb attachment. It makes it pretty fast. It doesn't have to be pin straight. It just has to be stretched out. So period. So next what I did is I basically started to like separate the braiding hair. Excuse me looking freaking crazy. I promise you that it all comes together in the end. Thank God, because it was my first time doing this. And I have tried braiding my hair before, but it just didn't ever come out the way that I wanted to, and it was kind of like hard for me. Even starting this one was a little bit hard for me, just like learning how to feed it in. But from what I've seen when other girls braid their hair and when I've gotten my hair braided before, you have to like separate the hair for easy access and stuff, so that's what I'm doing. So basically, this is the rat tail comb that I'm using. I had one before, don't know what happened to it, totally disappeared, but a rat tail comb, as you can imagine, is pretty essential. So I just parted my hair in the bottom with my fingers, and then I went back in with the rat tail comb to basically like estimate what a straight line would look like in the back of my head. I'm sure there's like a method to making sure that your parts are even on yourself. But like I said, this was just my first time trying it out. And yeah, this is how the part came out. As you can see, it's not completely straight. But I wasn't really being like super meticulous when it came to parting my hair. But I was a little bit more meticulous when it came to the front, of course. But when it comes to the back of my head, I don't really care as long as it's braided up because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to save a little bit of my coins. Because one thing about me is that my hair freaking always has to be done. Like my hair always has to be done, especially now that it's in such an awkward place and I'm trying to like grow it out and stuff. I'm trying to save money where I can. So this is why I'm braiding my hair. And also, like in the end, I realized that it really wasn't that difficult. But yeah, so you definitely need a rat tail comb. Make sure you have that on deck. And then I believe that, yeah, I parted my hair. I wanted them to be medium. I didn't want them to be too small. And some other products that I use, as you're gonna see, is this like hair glaze. I used to use this brand a lot when I was younger. They didn't have the original one that I used to use. They only had like the mango one, but honestly, it's still pretty good. And I just put it like all around my hair because it's like very conditioning and it does leave your hair like very shiny and stuff. And additionally, it gives you a little bit more of a hold when you're braiding your hair. And then I also used some edge control, as you'll see later. But here I'm just trying to like part my hair in the back. I was gonna do 3 parts at first, but then I ended up just doing 2 parts in the bottom. And you want to make sure that all the hair that you're holding back is tied up tightly so that it doesn't get mixed in with the hair that you're trying to braid up. So yeah, this is where I started. I split my hair into two in the back, and I also tied up the part that I wasn't braiding up. And at first, honestly, oh, this is the edge control that I use, by the way. It's the Cream of Nature. Oh no, actually, it's the Cantu one. I use their edge control and I kind of put it like all around the parts of whatever braid I was starting. So like in the middle, on the edges and stuff. I started off using my edge brush, but then I basically ended up using my fingers. And yeah, so basically you want your hair to be coated in either an edge control or like whatever glaze that it is that you're using, but definitely on the like on the where your parts are, you want to use the edge control to make sure that your parts are like neat and whatever. So then I began the process of trying to start the braiding, and from what I understand, you're supposed to start the braid normally, but you're not supposed to go too far down, and then you have to add in the hair. But honestly, for me, it was like an error. What is it? Trial and error process. Because when I first started it, I really couldn't get the hang of it, and I didn't understand like how to add in the hair. So you're gonna see me like struggling trying to add it in and stuff, but I was basically going off of this one IG video of how to add it in. But honestly, no matter how many videos I watched of how to add in hair, and you'll see I'm making a mistake, like you're supposed to continuously be adding in hair at the beginning. So yeah, it was a struggle. But like I was saying, no matter how many videos I was watching on how to do it, I just really couldn't understand by following their directions. But as I continued on in the hairstyle, it really is just like a muscle memory kind of thing, and the more that you do it, the more you kind of understand. But yeah, if you're trying to do this for the first time by yourself, I would definitely recommend watching videos. Everybody learns in a different way. Me personally, I really couldn't understand, even when people explained it like to the T how to do it, I just could not like understand their directions. So while I was doing this, I even went back to watch the videos, but it really wasn't that helpful. So yeah, this was like my first try at doing the braid and it was a fail, but as you'll see as I continue going on, I definitely understood it better. Basically, you want to start off the braid, and right when you started off, like when you do the first little braid, like 1, 2, 3, then you add in a piece of hair, you do 1, 2, 3 with that piece of hair, and then you add in like 2 or 3 more pieces, or depending on how thick you want it, you adjust. But yeah, I was definitely struggling at first, as you see. So as I went on, I kind of got the hang of it, as you can see here. But I will say that the bottom braids are a little bit more shaky, and also like it's not really good to have a blunt haircut when you're doing your braids because it definitely sticks out in some parts. So as you can see, I was kind of almost starting to get the hang of it, and then the more that I did it is kind of like the more that they became neater and neater. And I would say don't be afraid to like start the braid over if you can see that it's not starting off in the right way. But yeah, so basically start off your braid and don't let the braid from your natural hair go on for too long before feeding in a piece of hair. Like literally do it almost right away, but not necessarily at the root. And if you have a blunt cut like me and you're trying to like make your braids look a little bit neater because your hair is sticking out, I would recommend just adding more of whatever styling products it is that you're using to the parts where it's sticking out. So I would just apply like heavy amounts of glaze, and if my hair was sticking out like a lot from the braid, then I would go in with the rubber band and kind of tie it around. But that's just a little bit of like finesse. And yeah, excuse me looking crazy, but basically just make sure you're parting the same amounts of hair on either side of your head. And yeah, I just kept going and going. As you can see, I was doing half of my head black and half of my hair gray. And yeah, I got the hang of it more and more. And I didn't bother finishing the braids at the end because I knew that in the end I wanted to kind of curl the ends, so I didn't really bother with finishing the entire braid. I just wanted my hair done. I wanted to see if I could do it, and that was the goal of this video. So maybe in the future I will do like a more like precise kind of DIY knotless braid kind of thing. But for my first time, guys, I would say that it didn't come out too shabby. It was just definitely a lot of practice. So yeah, I would say this clip is kind of a good representation of how I was doing every braid. So you just start off doing a regular braid, make sure you have enough edge control on that piece of hair, and then you go in, you add a piece of hair, you do like a 1, 2, 3 motion where you feed that piece of hair into your braid, and then not too soon after you're gonna go in and add another piece of hair. I was doing about, I would say like 4 to 5 pieces of hair within every braid because I didn't want them to be too skinny. I didn't want to take forever. And yeah, that's basically how you do it. definitely. Oh, so yeah, I messed up because something that I was struggling with, I realized, was keeping the braid tight enough, like close enough to my head, because I do want to keep the style in for about a week. So when I would mess up and it wouldn't be close enough to my head, I kind of went back in, made sure that I started the braid off right, and then I went in to add the hair again. But what's it called? I definitely paid more attention to the braids that were like on the perimeter of my face, because I know that those are going to be the ones that are showing more. So yeah, don't be afraid to start over. It definitely takes a lot of practice, and by the end of this clip, you'll see that I kind of got it to where I wanted it to be. But yeah, this process was long, so I was definitely watching 90 Day Fiance at the same time. Oh no, actually, I was watching Married at First Sight. I stand corrected. But yeah, I'm just adding in hair. Like I said, my ends are pretty bluntly cut because I did the haircut myself. So when I saw that the hair was going to be a little bit like blunt when I was braiding it, I would add in some glaze and brush the hair with the braiding hair and then continue on in the braid. And like this pretty much worked well for me. But yeah, as you can see, once you get the hang of it and once you start it off and you add the pieces of hair in, you're just finishing the braid like a regular braided hairstyle. So yeah.
Fun dancing.
It was.
Yeah.
I did not think I would like that.
Really?
Much. I knew I would enjoy it, but it wasn't one of my favorite things I would do.
So yeah, it's just like probably I would say it took about like 3 hours to get to this point. So overall, it took me like 3.5 hours to do this whole hairstyle. But you see that all the braids are braided up together because initially I thought that if I just braided them together while I was braiding my hair, that the ends would come out curly. But actually, that is not the case. If you want to make sure that your ends are curly by the end of the hairstyle, then I'm going to show you guys how you can do that. But just know that this method of just braiding them while you're braiding your hair it's not enough to make your hair curly by the time that it's out. And I learned that by doing this. But yeah, finally got to my last braid. I was so excited. It is a process. It does take a while. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how it was coming out though, because literally I never ever understood how to feed in hair when you're braiding. Like I just never got it. It never clicked for me. But just like through repetition, I kind of learned how to do it better and better. So yeah, this is toward the end of the hairstyle. And yeah, bada boom, bada bee. It could be a little bit neater, a little bit more, put together. But hey, I still did that. And I know that when I do it more and more in the future, that it's going to be even neater and even better. But I was pretty happy with how it came out initially. So down to the nitty gritty of how to get your ends curly. This is what you want to do. You want to tie all of your braids together very, very tight, like so. And then, you know how you normally dip your head into hot water to seal the ends? You're going to want to dip those braids into the hot water for about like 2 minutes on each side and then let those braids sit in the hot water. No, you want to let your hair sit in the hot water for 2 minutes, right? And then once you're done putting your hair in the hot water, you want to leave your braids just like this drying for about 15 minutes. And by the time that you take the hair out, this is how it's going to look. Like it literally comes out curly and it's so beautiful. I was like, oh my God, like I really did that. Like, and I remember I looked it up on YouTube. I didn't learn this. And also my friend had given me some tips. She's so good at braiding hair. Shout out to her. Shout out to you, Rose. But Yeah, so basically just like let it dry a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely dry. Like I said, I let them sit like this for about 15 minutes, just air drying. And then when I took it out, the ends were so curly and I was so impressed and happy. Yes, girl. Yes, I did it. I did it myself. You could do it yourself too. DIY knotless braids. Save yourself that 150, 200, $300 and just do it on your own time. Yes, it takes time and it also takes practice if you've never done it before. As you can see, it took me a while, but honestly, it's so pretty. I was so happy with how it came out. And then I just kind of went back into all of the pieces of hair that my hair was sticking out from, and I went over it with glaze just to kind of stick them down. And if the glaze wasn't enough, then I would go in with rubber band like you see here. This is just some, finessing ratchet stuff. People don't really do that, but just gotta finesse it and see how it comes out. But yeah, this is the end result of how it came out. I was really happy with it, and I was actually pretty shocked that I got it to come out this way. I was kind of proud of myself. This is how the back looked. And yeah, DIY knotless braids, guys. DIY knotless braids. I'm sure that with practice I'll get better, but this is how the style came out. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm totally interested in hair. And if you didn't know, I sell hair extensions, I sell bundles, I sell wigs, I sell clip-in extensions in my website, www.dreamstylingnyc.com. All of the links will be in the description box down below. But this is the end result of how it came out. And yeah, I was very happy with it. Let me know what you think. As you can see, the parts can be a lot better. I am not saying that this is like the best, I'm not saying I'm the best at braiding hair, but for my first try, I think that I did pretty eye, and you can see that half of it is gray, half of it is black, and that's exactly what I was going for. So period. What do you guys think? Have you ever tried to do knotless braids on your own at home? How did it come out? Did it take you some time? Did you get it on the first go? Let me know. I'm totally interested. But overall, I was pretty happy with how it came out, and I'm even wearing it today. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I think the gray hair was a super cute touch, and yeah, I was very happy with how it came out. Love you guys. Subscribe, leave me a comment, leave me a like. Bye.